members, staff members, members of the public, both here in person and those joining us online as we are live streaming. I'd like to declare this meeting open at 5:30. I'll just check before we go any further. Councillor Gassett, can you hear us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. So, Councillors, obviously normally I do an acknowledgement to open our meetings, but given this is the first official OCM of this new council, we decided it was, we definitely agreed, it's very important to make sure we do an official welcome to country. So we have invited along Mrs. Melba Wallam, Auntie Melba, and I'll pass over to her now, who's sitting in our government seat, to please welcome us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Congratulations to the Mayor again for his winnings, and for all the council members. And just want to thank you all for just being here tonight and for having me here. And just like to say, I'd just like to say kaya. Kaya and hello. Gang Quill, Melba Wallam. My name is Melba Wallam. Kettling Durapanunuk Jinning. Tonight I am pleased to see you here and to be here with you. Yang Mok and Karajan, Netagamut Kura Yai Miller. I would like to pay my respects to our elders past, present and emerging. I acknowledge their contributions in the past, today and into the future. Ngala Jewel Coral, Ngala Karnyak, Ni Karat Nijo Ward Andy Nunga Buja, Nunukwe, Ngan Jackning, Yinning. As we gather here together, let us understand and respect that this is the land of the Wardandi people's Noongar country that you and I are standing and sitting on. Ngala Kol, Berik Berik, Neen Karajan, where we're in Barangalang, Pujak Ngan Karajan. May we walk softly, listen carefully, and feel the spirit of our land caring for us. Ngan Europe Wanju, Nuluk Ngala Kwabadak, Nunga Buja, Kalyakul, Kalyakul. It is my privilege to welcome you to our beautiful country. Always was, always will be. Wanju and Nunuk Yanga. Welcome and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Auntie Melba. We might help you get back to your seat now, unless you want to stay in the government's role. If you want to take some questions from our government's team, otherwise we'll give you a hand and we'll get Greg back in there. So just excuse us for one moment. Thank you once again, Auntie Melba. Thank you for that welcome to country, and I too would like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and thank you for welcoming us tonight. A couple of announcements from myself. Today is also the 11th of November, so on the 11th hour of the 11th month, we obviously celebrate Remembrance Day, and a very important day. There was a fantastic service down at the War Memorial this morning, run by the RSL, in reflection for a very important part of Australian history. So I too would like to pay my respects to all those both who fought for our country and who fought for democracy that we are enjoying here today. So a very important note for that. I also, with the Deputy Mayor, just recently was invited later on this afternoon to the Bhutanese community to celebrate the 70th day of the 4th King of Bhutan, and we have quite a strong, wasn't realised how big our Bhutanese community is here within Bunbury. It was a very lovely service, and obviously, again, it just shows how diverse this community is, celebrating all religions, all backgrounds and cultures, and it is fantastic to be part of it. We have a citizenship ceremony tomorrow evening where we will be celebrating 54 new citizens into our great region. So something I'm very proud of and continue to be part of, how we celebrate and enjoy all these wonderful cultures that make this country so great. So it's great to be part of that. Of course, this is the first sitting council. We did have a special council meeting last week, but this is the first OCM. So I feel like I've said this a few times, but officially congratulations to our new councillor, Councillor Broad, and returning councillors and Councillor Gassett, Councillor Smith and Councillor Quain. Well done on your re-elections. Commiserations to those who missed out on elections, but congratulations for them for having the courage to stand in those positions. And obviously, very importantly, a recognition to our retiring councillors of former Councillor Ben Andrew, former Councillor Karen Steele and former Councillor Michelle Steck. We are hoping at some stage to be able to do a presentation for them. We'll work through that when we can. So, we'll move on this evening. So I've approved Councillor Gassop's request to join electronically. I've approved that as it met the policy guidelines. So he's joining us, he can hear us, we've checked in with that. So Councillor Gassop, I can see you on the screen in front of me, so as we get to those items, if there's something to say or obviously if you're voting, just raising your hand, and if there's a position to say anything, then just raise your hand and I'll be able to see you. The rest of us are all here. We have received a number of declaration of interest that are on the form in front of us. I did just confirm, and it just needs to be clarified, Councillor Gassop's interest in 10.4.3 is a financial interest. So if that can just be updated, Councillor Gassop will be leaving the room for both of those items. And when we get to that, when we get to the work through the agenda, we'll probably deal with those items last, so we don't have to bring him in and out each time. Is there any other declarations of interest from elected members for any item on tonight's agenda? Thank you. We have received a couple of public question times. We have received one from Bradley Williams. Is Bradley here? I don't believe Bradley is here. So, Brad, if you are listening online, we have received your questions. I'm not going to read them all out. There was more than 3, but we're going to take them all for you. We have responded, and we will have responses for you, both written to you formally, and the responses will also be provided in the minutes of this agenda. So we'll take them on notice and provide comments on those. We do have questions though, and I've just spoken with Mr. Redinger. Mr. Redinger has asked 3 questions. We haven't had a chance to respond to those. They will be taken on notice, but I will invite Mr. Redinger up to ask his 3 questions. And I might have a go at answering a couple of them, and then we'll get some formal responses.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and welcome to all the new councillors, the re-elected and the new councillors. I think everybody knows me, and I'm usually up at this podium fairly often, so I'll keep it as brief as I can. My question number 1 is regarding safety. I acknowledge that the city has a community safety and crime prevention plan. However, that's focused mainly on crime prevention, not health and safety. Does the city have another safety plan that includes things like hazard identification, likelihood and consequences, safety inspections, and if not, why not?
Thank you. We'll take that one on notice. Thanks, Brian.
Okay. Question number 2 is related to Bunbury CBD. The background on this one is recently the BGCCI hosted a wonderful webinar, very appropriate, called Revitalization of Regional Cities. Obviously, our situation in Bunbury requires some revitalization or at least reactivation, which is my word. And the city that they focused on was Geraldton, which would be comparable to Bunbury. And they've got a wonderful program going on revitalization. So will Bunbury treat its CBD with a high priority and hold community and local business meetings to start a similar revitalization program in our CBD?
Thanks, Brian. We will take it on notice. I will just provide a couple of comments just in direct relation to that. I know that a number of the elected members in this room and some staff members also attended that webinar, and we've had good feedback similar to what you've just raised. I have a copy of that on my computer, which I will be watching as well. So definitely interest from that, and the feedback has been very good. In terms of the high priority, yes, it's been outlined as a key priority in our market scorecard, and some of the work that the communications and team have been doing around council plan, which will be come back to council, has been including pop-ups in shopping centres, pop-ups at the markets, obviously our normal written electronic surveys to gather feedback on all that. And as you're aware, as we just spoke about, we also have an agenda item later on looking at the formation of a CBD working group. So there'll definitely be inclusions of business owners and community owners, but we'll definitely get a formal response to that question.
Okay. The third question is not a trick question, even though it might sound like one. So playing off question number 2, that yes, we're going to treat the CBD with a high priority and form a committee and look at things like revitalization. Will the mayor and city council now include the Bicentennial Square precinct in that same grassroots effort of looking at revitalization? It would be far cheaper to revitalize or reactivate Bicentennial Square rather than reimagine the whole place, which is undoubtedly going to cost millions of dollars. So I'm proposing revitalization. So the question there is specifically, will you also include the Bicentennial Square precinct in the reactivation campaign?
Sure, take it on notice, but again, if I just make the comment around some of the comments that's already been had around getting that feedback, that report should be due back to council, if not this year, in the next meeting, certainly early in the new year, of the feedback received. And part of the conversations that's been had from council so far, specifically on Bi Square, is around an implementation plan and what things will be implemented as well, so which will just be important as the plan itself. So yes, definitely, but we'll provide official responses to those questions. Thanks, Mr. Ranger.
Okay, just an informal comment. I volunteer to be on the committee if you invite me. Okay.
Thanks,
You don't
Brian.
have to record that.
Thank you. Thanks for those questions. And we have the questions at the last OCM, which were from Linton Hodgson there. They have been responded in the agenda, and I've also gone to him formally as well. Confirmation of the previous minutes from the last council meeting on the 30th of September. Could I have somebody move that they're true and accurate? Thank you, Councillor Quain. A seconder. Councillor Brown. I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. And Councillor Broad, even though you weren't here, you can still agree. Thank you. All those in favour, that's carried unanimously. Thank you. And the special council meeting from 28th of October, is somebody happy to move that they are a true and accurate record of that meeting? Thank you, Councillor Kozisek, and seconded by Councillor Quain. I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That is carried unanimously as well. Thank you. And we do also have minutes from our advisory meeting, the Policy Review and Development Committee meeting from the 30th of September. Could I have somebody move that? Councillor Quain moved, and a seconder, Councillor Kozisek. Again, I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried unanimously. Thank you very much, councillors. So I don't believe we've received any petitions. I haven't been given notice of that. There are no presentations, but we have just received a deputation for item 10.1.9 from Lee Panuccio on that item. Those who approve that deputation, please indicate. Yeah, put your hand up. It's not up to me to tell you. So, and again, I fully acknowledge this is Councillor Broad's first meeting. So in this instance, Councillor Broad, the standing orders indicate that you can make a deputation at council's approval. So if people felt obligated not to approve someone, they could do. But I'll just check that again. Those in favour of hearing Lee Panuccio's deputation, please raise your hand. That's carried unanimously. Thanks, Lee. So when we get to that item, we'll invite you to come make your deputation. Thank you. So, councillors, Councillor Turner, apologies. Yep, we're getting to that item right now. So we obviously, for those in front of you, we have a number of items to be currently withdrawn from for discussion. I'll deal with those items first, Councillor Turner, but we have 10.3.3 is coming out for discussion as it does require an absolute majority. 10.1.9 is also coming out because it does now have a deputation. 10.3.7 is coming out, as that also requires an absolute majority, as does 10.3.8, as that requires an absolute majority. 10.3.9, 10.3.10 and 10.3.1 does require us to nominate representatives, so they're all coming out for discussion. And item 10.4.3 and item 10.4.5 will be coming out because they have financial interests for Councillor Gassop, and as I indicated, we'll deal with those last and we'll move that through. Councillor Turner, you indicated 10.3.6 to come out?
Sorry, Mr Mayor, I think, I want that one in
10.3.6 to come
Yes,
out,
thank you.
that's coming out for discussion.
Thank you.
Okay. How are we going with that? So effectively, councillors, and just again to be totally clear on this, that means that items 10.1.1 through to 10.1.8, 10.1.31, 10.3.2, 10.3.4, 10.3.5, 10.4.1, 10.4.2 and 10.4.4 can be moved en bloc, which means there'll be no further discussion on those and that we all agree with the officer's recommendation. So if we are comfortable with that particular position, is somebody happy to move that those items be moved en bloc? Thank you, Councillor Kozisek, seconded by Councillor Brown. All those in favour of that, please indicate. That's carried unanimously, thank you. So those items will be that, and unfortunately those two items for Councillor Gassop are at the end of the agenda anyway, so when we get to those items, Councillor Gassop will probably bid you farewell. So we'll just work our way through the agenda as it's written. We'll deal with our item 10.1.9 first, and before we deal with any particular debate, I'll ask Lee to come and join us and make her deputation. So Lee, if you're not familiar with this process, you have 10 minutes to deputise to the council. It's not an opportunity for Q&A or discussions. You have 10 minutes to tell us why we should or shouldn't be supporting something.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so basically, I'm against it. I think it's not right. It's not fair that we as business owners are sitting in a shop all day, every day, and you're allowing businesses to click and collect from home. I mean, predominantly there's probably a lot of businesses that would be suitable for this, but definitely not a plant and gift shop. You've already lost one of your big businesses, Dan and Helen's. They could not compete with one particular person or business that trades out of home. They've actually, when they're trading out of home, like I say, there are fors and against, but when you've got a plant business, statues, you've got all those sort of things, you can't compete because the prices that we buy the plants for in Perth, if you bring them back for us to be able to make a reasonable markup on what dies and what we keep alive is really, really hard. And we've already seen one business and go down the tubes, and that was because you granted somebody a click and collect or a business. And this business severely undercuts, absolutely severely. I can't even drive to Perth and get the plants for what this business is selling it for. They're not locked into a shop. They can go on holidays whenever they want. We actually have to pay somebody wages. 50 square metres, not a lot for plants. I've seen the photos. You've all been out there, or somebody's been out there and looked, and let me tell you, there's no way that that amount of plants would fit into 52 square metres, right? Oh, sorry, 50 square metres, not 52. So let me tell you, I know the size of plants. Have you got a problem, sorry? So, no? Okay, no problem. Sorry, I just saw you eyeballing each other. Yeah, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I just thought there might have been a problem. So the other thing was too, myself, I applied for the exact same thing, and a month later this business was granted it. I'm now on, a bit of a plug, 3 Estuary Drive, Plants and Logs. I had to take out... I have to pay rent, I have to pay insurance, I had to deck out the shop that cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars because it was a tin shed. And a month later, this particular business was granted the same thing that I asked for. So one would ask, why? One would ask, was it put to deposition or whatever this is where I never saw it? That you allowed this particular business to click and collect? I don't get it. A month later, I've had this discussion with a couple of the council members. I need that answered because I spent thousands of dollars and somebody got it a month later. I counted on Victoria Street, 7 empty business premises. By you granting people to click and collect at home, you're opening up for businesses just to close down because the overheads are not there, they don't have to pay it. They're not stuck 7 days a week like we are, and I would have liked to have done this. This is why I'm here, because I did never want to open a business, but I was forced to. So basically that's it, and I really would like to know why a month later, after I paid all the money and was not granted anything I wanted, that then somebody else was granted exactly the same thing. So that's my spiel. Thank you so much. Pop on down to Plants and Logs, 3 Esther Drive. So thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate that.
No problems. Thanks, Lee. We can, we'll obviously, from a planning point of view, potentially provide some answers to some of your questions there. This particular item is obviously dealing with some of the legal side of things around click and collect. The current committee recommendation is not to support this process. There is an alternative recommendation as well. This particular item as well will not be, whatever decisions made tonight, will be going out for public advertising. So it will be obviously going out for public comment as well. So whatever... Sure. So yeah, as I said, there's no opportunity for discussion from point of view, but there is obviously, as I said, whatever decisions made here tonight, it's not the final role. There will be out for public comments where you're obviously very much encouraged to make comments through that process as well. But, yeah, so if we take a seat and I'll talk your way through it, but we have a committee recommendation to endorse a position, which will then go out for comment, but there is potentially an alternative recommendation. But we'll work our way through that and I'll explain along the process. Thank you. So, councillors, we do have a committee recommendation in front of us. Is there somebody happy or is somebody wanting to move the committee recommendation? Councillor Kozisek to move the committee recommendation. Is there a seconder to that? Councillor Quain, I saw over there. Councillor Kozisek.
Look, I haven't got anything prepared and I have dwelled on this. As you know, I'm a huge supporter of local business and in particular small locally owned businesses. And this is a whole grey area, this click and collect operating small businesses from home. Our small businesses, retailers in particular, pay fairly high rents. They're tied into being at work 6, sometimes 7 days a week, long hours. And I think some small businesses that purely operate out of home avoid all those costs at the detriment of our retailers. And I still believe there are some small businesses that are suitable to operate from home, but we have to be very aware of the scale of those businesses and what they are. So I'm really happy to support this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Quain.
I concur with what Councillor Kozisek just said. I could also add that I encourage people that would like to do click and collect from home to consider contacting the retail shops in the CBD or even the owners of the premise to see if they could operate their click and collect through our existing CBD businesses. So please, I support recommendation number 1.
Thank you. Is there a speaker against this particular item? Councillor Broad. I need to get you to stand, Councillor Broad. I'm looking into changing that at some stage, but for the interim, we'll continue with standing. Thank you.
I'd like to foreshadow that should the motion be lost, Mr Mayor, I'll be moving the alternate recommendation.
Sure. Thank you. Would you like to take your opportunity to speak against this recommendation?
Yes, I've thought carefully. I think the opportunity for some of our young entrepreneurs, the people that are not necessarily retailing as such, but making home-based products that can give them the opportunity to test what their products can actually do in the market. And I look forward to possibly those same businesses having an opportunity to then grow and then commence their businesses in the CBD.
Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Broad. And to just foreshadow the alternative recommendation, which is in our agenda papers, but for those who are following along, the alternative recommendation Councillor Broad has just referred to there would be that, which would be to support, the main difference being to support the collection of goods through click and collect as contained in the appendix. So that will be what Councillor Broad has foreshadowed if this particular recommendation is lost. But we'll move back to the committee recommendation first. We have an opportunity for a speaker for. All good? Speaker for the committee recommendation. No. Councillor Kozisek to close, and I'll just note before we close the debate, so councillors, if this particular committee recommendation is lost, Councillor Broad has indicated she'll be moving the alternative recommendation. Councillor Kozisek.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. And because I didn't make any notes, I forgot to say something, so somebody might call me out for bringing in something I shouldn't have done. We did discuss this in depth about encouraging small businesses to look at hiring pop-up shops in the CBD area in particular, and to try and negotiate short-term leases rather than the 5+5, which have been the norm. So it's something that seriously, there needs more work on this whole concept, but for the time being, I still support that we should say no. Thank you.
Thank you. I will put the committee recommendation. Those in favour, please indicate. That's 4 in favour. Those against? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 against. That is lost. We'll move to Councillor Broad's foreshadowed recommendation. Councillor Broad, I'm assuming you'd like to move that recommendation?
Yes, I would, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. And a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Turner. Councillor Broad, anything further to add?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The reason I support the alternate recommendation is that allowing click and collect for home-based businesses provides real benefits. It can reflect the way that many small businesses now operate, offering convenience for customers while helping local entrepreneurs start and grow without the high overheads of commercial premises. With appropriate guidelines, which I believe we've received, and I'd like to also acknowledge and thank the staff for their expertise and their thorough work undertaken in preparing item 10.1.9. I feel that the detail and consideration given to this report are very much appreciated, and I do believe that the limited daily pickups and maintaining the residential character of neighbourhoods is of the utmost responsibility. Supporting Click and Collect does mean supporting innovation, which I'm very keen to see in our community, small enterprise and flexibility for people who want to work from home, strengthening our local economy and community connections.
Councillor Turner, anything from yourself?
Just briefly, we're trying to be progressive here, and we have some of these businesses are going to click and collect regardless of whether they've passed the regulations or listen to staff and follow the correct procedures. Some businesses will always do it wrong, regardless of what regulations you have in place. And as Councillor Broad broached on before, there are businesses that do start off small. The one was the cake shop was briefly started at home and then end up having a business in town. So they might start off small, test the market, and then move into the CBD and take occupancy in the CBD. So, yeah, please vote in favour. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a speaker against? Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Sort of going back to the original comments of Councillor Kozisek, and I still think they ring true, and I think it's too early to move into this sort of a way of running businesses until we know more about it. So for that reason, and for the reasons espoused by Councillor Kozisek, I won't be supporting this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 4. Councillor Broad to close. Anything further to add?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Broad. I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. And those against? 3 against. That alternative recommendation has been carried. So what this means is that this is not becoming part of our regulations. This is now going out for advertising for no less than 21 days. So I'd be suggesting this will be coming back to council in the new year, given our current timing. This is the opportunity for public advertising and council then to consider any submissions that are lodged through that process, including any of the particular clauses that may be included as any part of that point of view. So that'll be the process, and we'll go from there, and this will be back for a final decision early in the new year. Thank you. We move to item 10.3.3. Now, the reason this is out, councillors, this does require an absolute majority. Somebody happy to move this particular recommendation? Councillor Quain, and seconded by Councillor Turner. Is there likely to be any debate on this item, councillors? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. 10.3.6. And I will note there has been a slight amendment. Councillor Turner, did you want to ask a question? What's that, sorry? No. Somebody happy to move the executive recommendation? Councillor Turner, is there a seconder? Councillor Broad? Councillor Smith?
Sorry, Mr Mayor, am I able to make just a small comment on the minor amendment at 1, subject to the CEO formally writing to the artist?
What I might do, Councillor Smith, is I'll invite the mover and seconder to speak first. Then you may take the opportunity to speak against, and even obviously if you don't exactly speak against, you might be able to make some comments then. Will be the best process. Thanks,
Thank you,
Councillor.
Mr Mayor.
Councillor Turner.
Echo, the iconic work of art by Tony Jones, has been a prominent feature outside the Bunbury Art Gallery for over 30 years, serving as a symbol of our city's artistic heritage. Tony Jones, as we know it, is a renowned Western Australian artist, sculptor and educator, whose works have become amongst the state's most celebrated public artworks. Back in February, this special piece was taken down for a thorough assessment, and as you can see from the photos that we were provided, it's in very poor condition. After standing tall for 30 years, Echo has succumbed to the elements, and the resulting damage is too severe for it to remain on display. This is a situation that we all find deeply disappointing, given the significance of this artwork for our community. Consultation with Tony Jones has taken place, and he no longer able to repair this particular piece. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Tony and thank the staff who have been diligently monitoring the condition of the city public artwork pieces. Although Echo will be missing from this place of prominence, it will always remain in our memories and history books. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Broad, anything to add?
Nothing, thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Broad. Councillor Smith, you may take the opportunity now to make some comments.
I find this whole recommendation quite troubling, as you all know, having my involvement with Bragg and the arts in Bunbury. I just make a couple of comments. I can never support deaccessioning and destruction of any work of art, let alone one that is part of the gallery history and by one of WA's living treasures. In the 1980s, this city, with vision and the support of the state government, stepped out into the unknown with the purchase of the Convent of Mercy and established the first public A-class gallery outside the state capital. Bunbury has always had a reputation of events and a sporting city, but along with that, and even before then, Bunbury was well known by its musical and art tradition, even though it was considered an industrial city. One example just today, the Bunbury City Band, established in 1905 and still going strong after 120 years and playing beautifully Remembrance Day service this morning. That's part of the history of the cultural heritage of Bunbury. How did Bunbury have the foresight and will to build on the 22 works of art donated to the then town of Bunbury in the 1940s by Sir Claude Hodgkin? The Society of Artists and then the collection committee built a collection now worth several $1 million. It was done with very little money, and when I joined the committee in 1980, the council gave the committee a grand total of $2,000 to acquire, conserve and exhibit. To embellish and enhance the old building, now an A-class gallery with the commissioning of Echo by Mr Tony Jones, with the strong support of Liz and Lloyd Horn and the community. I live in hope that there is an infinitesimal chance of the future with new technologies and ideas that Echo may be saved and remain in Bunbury, but once it is destroyed, there's no chance of repair or bringing it back. Destroying artworks, no matter what condition they're in, means we're destroying our history, in my view. We have a duty to maintain and preserve all of our works of art. So, Mr Mayor and councillors, for some of the reasons, these are some of the reasons I've outlined, and for many more, I cannot support this motion as it currently stands. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. There is a speaker for the executive recommendation. Councillor Turner. Okay. I'll put the executive recommendation as written. Those in favour, please indicate. Those against? 4 against. That executive recommendation is carried. Item 10.3.7. This does also require an absolute majority. We have an executive recommendation there in front of us. Is somebody happy to move that recommendation?
Mr Mayor.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you.
Seconded by Councillor Turner. Is there likely to be any debate on this one, councillors? If that's the case, I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please indicate. Those against? 1 against. That's carried. Thank you. 10.3.8, councillors. So this is the establishment of our committees and advisory groups and some working groups. Now, as was mentioned last week, this isn't an exhausting list. There may or may not be further working groups to be added, but this is what we, in accordance with some of the local government acts and some of our previous commitments, we are committing to. And obviously the establishment of these groups, including both council members and committee members, after that process has gone out, will happen from there. So we have the executive recommendation in front of us. Is somebody happy to move that? Thank you, Councillor Quain. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Broad. Is there likely to be any debate on this particular item? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. And that is carried unanimously. Thank you. So we do have a couple of appointments though for groups that need to work our way through. So we have 3 groups here we need to do. Appointment of our council representatives. Now, these 3 groups, councillors, are gazetted members. So if there are multiple members who want to join any of these next items outside what is currently gazetted, then we'll obviously be going to a vote. But is there any nominations for a councillor to be a member of the South West Regional Road Group? Don't all go at once. I think this one's outside our control, Councillor Turner. Can you just confirm again what time the dates work through the CEO?
Thank you. The Director of Infrastructure.
Through you, Mr Mayor. They meet 4 times a year. It is on a Monday. It's usually from about 10:30 till 12:30. It's only about 2 hours.
Sure. I'm happy to nominate myself as a member on that group.
I'm happy to nominate as well. I'm just concerned I'm on the Audit, Risk and Finance Committee, and I think that's on a Monday morning at the same time.
We can work around that. If you would like to be the deputy member, Councillor Broad, we can make that work.
Yes, I'm happy to be, Mr Mayor.
Sure. So if we can fill in those gaps, nominate Mayor Miguel as member of the South West Regional Road Group and Councillor Broad as deputy member. Now, I will just confirm as well, there's no other nominations for this. If that's the case, could I have somebody move that we accept those nominees? Thank you, Councillor Kozisek. Seconded by Councillor Ramesh. Thank you. Likely to be any debate on that one, councillors? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. 10.3.1, councillors, I intend to nominate as the member for the Southwest Zone. Is there any other nominations who would like to nominate themselves as that member? Which you are well within your right to. Do not be intimidated.
Mr Mayor, I'd just like to nominate as the deputy, please.
Okay, I'll jump on that very quickly, Councillor Smith, but yeah, there's no other nominees for the member. Great. We've had the Councillor Smith nominated as the deputy member. Is there any other nominees for the deputy member? Great. Is somebody happy to move that? Here, Councillor Quain, seconded by Councillor Broad. I'll put that. Those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. The Southwest Country Zone will be meeting here in Bunbury for the next round, which I think is the 23rd of November. So we'll be making a presentation to the group in this room. Thank you. Item 10.3.11. So, councillors, we will require 3 councillor representatives and 3 deputy members. So let's deal with the, is there nominations first for councillors to be on this board? Councillor Quain, Councillor Turner, Councillor Broad and Councillor Smith all indicated last week that they were interested. Now, that is 4 members. Are there any other members who are interested in being on this group? And just confirming, none of those members are interested in being a deputy member? Which again, not trying to encourage that, feel free. If that is the case, then we do have 4 nominees for 3 positions. So we'll have to have a vote on this. This vote is not a preferential vote. It's first past the post. And I'll defer now to the CEO and the Manager of Governance to run an election. So for those who are watching, both here and online, please bear with us for a moment. Councillors, you'll have 4 names. You can vote 3 times.
Correct, Mr Mayor. So just for those observing procedurally, every council will have in their drawers a voting slip. As the Mayor indicated, first past the post, so up to 3 marks, 1, 2 or 3. Only the CEO and I will then collect those and we'll tally those votes. I believe with Councillor Gasseb joining us online, he has arranged to either text or email his vote through to the CEO. Is that correct, Mayor?
Yes, I did message him that. So Councillor Gassep, just again, either 1, 2 or 3 votes, there are no preferences in there, and send that through to the CEO. Thank you. Please bear with us for a few moments while we go through this process. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Councillor Gassep.
need the names, please.
Oh, sorry. So we have 4 councillors, Councillor Broad, Councillor Turner, Councillor Quain and Councillor Smith have all nominated for that, and we'll be getting to 3 positions. Thank you. Up to 3.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Okay, and again, just to clarify, if you do vote 4 times, it wouldn't work that well, but it will also be an informal vote. You got your phone on you? Okay, he's on his phone now.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you everyone for your patience. Following the votes, we have Councillor Smith, Councillor Broad and Councillor Turner as members of the Bunbury Harvey Regional Council.
Thank you, CEO. So they will become the members. We do need still deputy members. Councillor Quain, would you like to nominate as a deputy member? We require 2 other deputy members. Is there any interest from any other elected members to be deputy members? Councillor Kozisek will be one, and Councillor Brown. Is there any other members who would like to be a deputy member? Okay. Thank you. Could I have somebody move that this now becomes the executive recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Ramesh. Is there a seconder to that? Thank you, Councillor Quain. I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. That process is done. Thank you for your patience working our way through that. So we're at item 10.4.3. And we'll deal with both of these. So, Councillor Gassab, we might bid you farewell at this stage. There's no point really bringing you back in for the closure of the meeting. So thanks for your attendance, and
You all.
we'll sign
Have
you
a good
off.
night.
Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Gassab. All good. Minute taker. Thank you. Okay. Councillors, we have a 2 planning matters to deal with here. That's gone, I'm guessing, minute taker, running across the screen in front of me. The executive recommendation is written in front of us. Is somebody happy to move that executive recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Broad. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is there likely to be any debate on this item, councillors? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And item 10.4.5 is the rezoning of lot 50 Austral Parade. We have an executive recommendation for us. Is somebody happy to move this particular executive recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Kozisek. A seconder, Councillor Ramesh. Thank you. Likely to be any debate on this, councillors? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillors, that does bring us to a close for this meeting. So I will declare this meeting closed at 6:19. Thank you very much for joining us both here and online. Please enjoy the rest of the evening and your week. Thank you.